What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Chicago Man I Am, and it is here, finally, April 23rd, draft day. That's what I'm talking about. We've been waiting for this day. I personally love this day. I love this weekend, and some people nerd out on it. Some people don't care. My whole life, been into this as a kid. I don't know why. My brothers couldn't give a toss, but I want to tune in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, see who the Bears have picked up, and we are here. And we have a lot to do. We have a lot to accomplish. We have a lot to build to get to where we all hope we'll be. Now, what's going to happen? A lot of different mock drafts, a lot of different projections, a lot of different rumors all over the place, right? We've seen everything. It's lying season, right? We've seen the Bears linked to safeties. We've seen the Bears linked to offensive tackles. We've seen the Bears linked to defensive linemen, tackles, edges, all of it. What is real? What is being floated out there on purpose? What is out there to deceive, to misguide, to deter? Now, I want to dig into a couple of the most recent mock drafts that I've seen. And these days now, everybody thinks that their mock drafts matter. I don't want to read mock drafts day in, day out, right? It is interesting to see where we end up. But the guys that I actually pay a bit of attention to are the ones who have inside information, the insiders, the people who are plugged, well-connected, have lots of conversations, and they could be getting correct information. They could be getting, intentionally fraudulent information. You got to be careful what you believe. But to me, it felt like early on, these early mock drafts, we saw the Bears linked to safety quite a bit, obviously, because it's the most glaring need. It's the biggest, most gaping hole on our team. We are missing one starting safety. We have Kobe Bryant. We don't have another starter. We need one. So that conclusion was obvious. Then you started to see more defensive end, more defensive tackle, more in that kind of realm. Lately, you've been seeing a lot of offensive tackle, specifically left tackle. I've always thought that was odd because we brought Braxton Jones back. We signed Jedrick Wills to create competition. We have Theo Benedette returning, who played quite well given what he was going into the season. We've got three people competing, and then you've got Ozzie, hopefully, after missing all of next year, returning. Potentially four people to choose from. But my mind has changed once I saw this. Now, this is Chicago Bears' newly appointed assistant general manager, Jeff King. I walked away from this press conference absolutely loving the guy. I think we've got a stud in the seat next to Ryan Poles. But look at this answer. Watch this.
Knowing this class, when you look at those four picks in the top 90, what is your sense of what can be accomplished between now and the end of Friday night?
Create competition for the roster. Create hard decisions that we have to make come the start of the season. Add guys to our building that compete daily. That's our goal.
Now, I absolutely love that. Create hard decisions for ourselves. Add guys to our roster who compete daily. Create competition. That's their goal. Absolutely love it. And for me, somebody who's looking at the left tackle position, I'm saying we've got Braxton Jones, we've got Jedrick Wills, we've got Theo Benedette. Why would we add another guy? We've got three guys already vying for that. But you just saw it here first. Jeff King says, our goal is to create competition, no matter what the position is, compete daily. I love that. And that's what makes me think that it is entirely possible that the Bears actually could end up taking a left tackle. And if you look at ESPN's Matt Miller, his most recent mock draft, he has the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Lomu, left tackle out of Utah. Now, that would be awesome. I would love Caleb Lomu, athletic left tackle. I think he's a plug and play. Is he a finished product? Is he perfect? No, but he's very athletic. I think he's dependable, and I think he's got a lot of growth. But he's not the only one. Peter Schrager, a couple of weeks ago, also mocked Caden Proctor, another left tackle out of Alabama, to the Chicago Bears. So there is smoke around the left tackle talk. We've seen Albert Breer come out and talking about a run of tackles, offensive linemen that could go between like 50 to 25. And he mentioned that the Chicago Bears, those are one of the teams in that mix. Again, is this all real? Is it being floated out intentionally to disrupt, to create chaos, to create noise, or maybe allow them to get the guy that they want ultimately, maybe a safety, maybe a defensive lineman, who knows? But then to get into a couple of other mock drafts. Todd McShay, I take a lot of value in what he says. He has Keldrick Falk going to the Bears at 25. Peter Schrager, in his last and final, most recent mock draft, has TJ Parker, edge out of Clemson, going to Chicago instead of on his previous mock draft, he had it being Caden Proctor, left tackle. What about Daniel Jeremiah? Can't forget him. Again, Keldrick Falk. Daniel Jeremiah agrees with Todd McShay. Bucky Brooks has an edge as well, and it's Akeem Mesidor out of Miami, which Jeff King did talk about older players that are coming out of college later, right? And Jeff King mentioned that not really being a problem. They take it on a case-by-case basis, but he expects that age to rise as we've seen the rise of NIL and people being incentivized to stay in college. He thinks we're going to see older players enter the draft, but depending on the player, you look at why they're so old, why they stayed in college so long. Were they always optimal performers, or did they flourish late when they were older, right? And then last but not least, the good old trusty Mel Kiper, who I'm low on his stock these days, but he has Zion Young going defensive end out of Missouri at 25 to the Bears. So a lot of different possibilities, a lot of options out there. Now, what else did Jeff King say that could perhaps guide us in what we're looking for?
Through your scouting experience, what are the things that you look for that kind of fits that from who you talk to, what you look for on tape? Like, what are the things that add up to?
Yeah, I think it's the silent tape. You know, I think when you cut on tape, and the guys that we probably get excited about the most is you don't have to read the character. You can see it. You can see how they compete, show up in big games, pick up their teammates, raise the level of their teammates' game. Like, you know, we can read everything we want, articles and all this, but like what people show, what players show on tape is usually the product that you're going to get.
Isn't that just a fabulous money answer from Jeff King? The silent tape. You can get a feel for a player's football character, for how they are on and off the field by watching the tape. Listen, you understand Luther Burden, and you understand the type of person he is off the field and the battles that he's had to overcome personally as a human. He steps onto the football field and he plays with an edge. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. He plays like he's got something to prove. That's him. He's authentically Luther Burden, right? You can see that. You don't need to dig into it too much. People got scared away from that last year. We embraced it. We welcome it. We love it. So we're talking about guys that have high football character, guys that raise the level of people around them. Could that be a Zion Young? You look at Keldrick Falk, even though he doesn't have sack numbers, right? He's young. He's very young. He's 20 years old. But he can play inside and outside. And no matter what, if he's not getting to the quarterback, he is affecting the line of scrimmage. He is making an impact. He is penetrating. He is causing chaos in the backfield. You can work with that. Same as Akeem Messidor, high football character guy, gets to the quarterback, had production even when he was a younger player, right? Not just as a 24, 25-year-old. Now, I will say Jeff King did praise the efforts of the medical staff and the medical team for the Chicago Bears. So I think that medical reports and assessments are going to play a huge role here. I don't think we're going to roll the dice on people that have been injured. You saw how it worked out with Karam Amagaji, right? That was one of the worst picks in Ryan Pohl's tenure. He was coming off of an injury and he played for Yale. I still don't get it, but he was a country club pal of Matt Eberflus's. Can't believe we did that. Thinking back, it was really, really dumb. And he's been injured and he's not good enough. Then you look at Shamar Turner, who I actually am high on. I'm excited to see him play this year because I like his attitude. You know, Jeff King talks about attitude, the character on the football field. I mean, dude, Shamar Turner's got that in abundance, but he's also injury prone, and that has trickled over to the NFL. So do we want to sign up for guys that are injury prone? You want clean medical histories, right? Now, there are a lot of decisions that can be made, and there are a lot of different paths that we can go. We've seen it get oddly quiet around the safety front. Is that intentional? Is it because there's no smoke there? Is it because we're trying to not create noise around the safety position and let people know who we want? You know, that's certainly a part of the game. But also, if we're bringing guys into the building, like offensive linemen, like defensive linemen, you know that's where we're shopping. And we have to. It's obvious. Look at the roster. I will say my opinion has kind of shifted just a tad. I've always kind of been on the solve the biggest need, and that's safety, and get Dylan Thieneman, a guy who can cover man, a guy who's versatile, a guy who can be played all over the defensive backfield, a guy you can rely on, dependable, football culture, right? Work ethic. One, I don't think he's going to get to us at 25. And two, I am now of the opinion where I think it is easier for us to get a quality, high-impact safety in the second or third round than it is easier for us to get a quality impact defensive lineman or offensive tackle later in the second or third round. I think the cream of the crop on the offensive line, you've got to get in the first round, especially at tackle. If you're looking for a left tackle that's going to come in and compete to start, you're shopping in the second and third round or even later rounds, good luck. You've really got to find a diamond in the rough. Same goes for defensive tackle. Not a lot of options there. Same goes for edge. After you'll probably pick 50 to 55, I mean, you're really rolling the dice. There's going to be a lot of edges coming off the board. So I think I am actually more of the opinion now where I think we do go left tackle or we go defensive line first round. We find a safety in that second round with pick 57 or 60. And there are good options there. Adding talent, adding people to that room, adding depth. We've got to get younger because Grady Jarrett could be gone next year. Javon Dexter could be gone next year if he doesn't have a great season and we decide not to re-sign him. We need to get better, deeper, and younger, more talented. I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. But safe to say, I love our approach. I love our methodology. I love the direction. I mean, Jeff King said it was very clear. It is abundantly clear that Ben Johnson has a vision, and we're following that vision. He knows how he wants to build his team, and that makes it really easy for scouts and front office to identify personnel, identify talent, to scout players who fit the system and the direction of the Chicago Bears. This time last year, we did not have Colson Loveland. We did not have Luther Burden. Crazy what can change in 1 year if you hit on those picks. Let's run it back. Bear down, baby.